Hello, everybody. It's Dispeller, and I am here to read the next chapter of our book, Dealing with People You Can't Stand. And today's chapter will be the no person. Hello to the one person that just came in. May even be my husband that comes in. I don't know. Anyway, it's nice to have at least one person here. I did read your comments, or not your comments. I read your poll answers. And there seems to be an overwhelming majority of you that do not like the idea of book reading. Hi, Spoof. So for the rest of this book, I am going to go live as I planned. But for the subsequent books that I read, if I do, I will definitely be just doing uploads. And then we will have a discussion. Hang on, I need to get better nail polish. I was going to do fuchsia color on my nails, but this one's dried out and I don't feel like fussing with it, so I'm going to get a different one. Maybe I can find another fuchsia. That's better, I guess. Let's see if this one works. Okay, yeah, this will work better. How's it going, Spoof? So we went to church today, and it was mostly, from what I can remember, pastor talking about how we're building onto the church. We're making it this big mega church, and it's going to cost like millions of dollars to do it or something, and or thousands of dollars. I don't remember. It costs a lot of money to build onto a church. It's going to be a big, huge church. They're going to have a playroom for the kids. They're going to have like a big, huge sound system and a big screen. You know, a mega church. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm really leaning more and more towards just starting my own church from my home. However, as I was informed by the lady that brought us home, you need to check with pastor about that because I'm pretty sure there's rules and regulations you have to follow before you start your own ministry. And that just brought back all the bad memories that I used to have when I was in the Word of Faith type of belief system. That you have to be under the jurisdiction of somebody. You can't just hear from God yourself. You have to get, direction from an authority because God probably won't talk directly to you. Almost like the Catholic Church where you have to go through the priest in order to do anything. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to be praying about this because I honestly do not feel that I need to answer to, a higher up every time I make a choice in my life about stuff. So I don't know. That could just be the rebellion in me talking, which it probably is. That's just how I feel about it. I've been wanting to do a home church for years, literally. And every time I've tried, I just couldn't get people interested. However, I think there's got to be other messianic people out there who also believe in the full gospel message. So we shall see. Probably do it through like a meetup group thing or something to start out, just like a little Bible study with some worship and that sort of thing. Yeah, I know, Spoof. I'm the same way. I think it's better to have that little intimacy there. I think it's important. And I think that's why even the mega churches started like home groups, so you would have smaller branch groups. Hey, Rodney, how are you doing? We're doing well, and thank you for asking. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. I'm not sure. Matthew and I talked about it. I think we're both going to stay put where we are for now, but neither one of us are all keen on the whole mega church idea. I mean, he pretty much came from a mega church. When I met him, he was going to a really large church, which no longer exists. Well, I mean, it exists, but it's under a different name. So I'm just really not sure. Not sure what direction to take right now. I'm just going to pray about it. But yeah, I really don't want to come under the control of a minister or ministry or anything like that, where I can't make my own decisions and go between God and I and make decisions. And if that's how it's going to be, then, oh well, I guess I'll be moving on somewhere, just doing my own thing. But yeah, immediately when I shared with that lady that was bringing us home that I was leaning towards starting my own church, she launched into, well, you better check with the pastors, you better check with the ministry team, You better stay under authority, basically, is what I was kind of hearing. So, yeah, it's stuff like that that makes people really have a bad taste in their mouth about the Word of Faith movement. And I know that because I remembered. And when Pastor was talking about the Full Gospel Tabernacle, which is where I used to go to church years ago, and then a couple of the churches I went to were like sisters churches to that. I remember enjoying the church services a lot. And even like when I was part of other churches, like out here in Illinois, there was always this underlying thing that there is an authority and you stay under that authority, and there's a hierarchy, and you don't dare think for yourself and don't question anything. And if you do question it, you better be ready to sit and battle it out and debate it and prove your point. And even then, the pastor always wins because people are taught to submit under the pastor. So to me, it's a little bit cultic as far as I'm concerned, and I don't want to be part of a cult. I guess that's why my beliefs are so different. People don't understand how I could be more than one belief system, but no, not a private Bible study. I want to start a church, not just a Bible study. I want to start out as a Bible study, but I would hope that it would grow into an actual church situation. It's all about, like when the lady said, did you talk to anybody about it? Did you tell anybody else about this? I said, no, because I know about the whole sheep stealing thing, and I'm not going to go getting accused of that again. I've already gotten accused of stealing sheep in the past when I hadn't even had any plans of starting my own thing. I had visited a church and just told them I would like to be on the worship team and be involved in the church. And immediately the pastor started ranting about, you're not taking my sheep. The last person that did that, let me tell you, I pinned him to the floor and I gave him what for, and I'm going to do that to anybody that tries to steal my sheep away. I'm like, whoa, dude. I was just saying I wanted to maybe get more involved. Back up the truck here, you know? Yeah, it's stuff like that people want nothing to do with churches because they get very controlling, and then they start talking about money. We need money for this, money for that. And I get it. The workman is worthy of their hire. Anybody that is ministering, that's doing the work of God, is worthy to receive a payment. I agree with that. There's a fine line there. If we're talking about ministers that are flying around in fancy jet planes and live in mansions, then I draw the line there. I don't see any need for that. A plain house, not a castle, not a mansion. You don't need to be higher up above everybody just because you're a minister. Period. Anyhow, I do digress. So yeah, I'm a little troubled today about some things. I did a little bit of browsing on YouTube this morning when I was laying in bed, getting ready to get up for church. And man, the stuff that's on our section of YouTube, and maybe all sections of YouTube, is just really deplorable. People bashing people, people making fun of people's weight, people making fun of people's living situations. There's just like no holes barred. Everybody's just mean and nasty. Not everybody, but a lot of people on here are just mean and nasty. It's just so unfruitful to me. I don't want any part of that, honestly. Okay, so anyway, the no person. Let's talk about the no person. Ever since his childhood, Rick had loved to play hockey. And though he no longer played on ice, he managed to pull together a group of regulars for floor hockey at a local gym, including a few recent immigrants from Russia. The first day they played, he had a run-in with one of them, a guy named Vladimir. Rick soon learned that Vladimir was the official no person of the group. He would always tell the other players what they did wrong, not what they did right. What? You have broken leg? Can you run? What language am I to speak to get a pass from you? Each game degenerated into an argument sparked by Vladimir's negative comments. Darn, thought Rick. It could have been such fun. Yeah, I bet, spoofer. I bet, yes, disability shaming, yes, that too. I know. I've seen everything. When you go into somebody's situation of do they have a toilet or not, that's just weird to me. Who cares? Pee in a bucket, pee in a hole in the floor, pee in a toilet, whatever. Why judge somebody for how they have to live or choose to live? It's nobody's business. And if you're that worried about them, why don't you reach out a hand and go help them rather than criticizing them? That's my theory on that. Believe me, guys, if I had the money, I would help people. I would pay it forward 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold, whatever, depending on how much I had. I'm not all about bashing people because I'm that person. I'm the bashee. I'm the one that lives in the house where I have to dump a bucket to empty my sink. Now, my hot water tank. Here we go with the hot water tank again. Everybody get your video camera from the company that fixes the hot water tank. But he's still coming out and he's going to take care of it for us tomorrow. And he's probably going to confront me about my nastiness in email the last time I had to deal with him. And I do kind of remember, this was a long time ago, getting into some kind of altercation with him because I felt we were overcharged or something. He said, I don't remember it exactly, but I don't put anything past me because honestly, in the past, I was a different person. I was very negative. I was very resentful and angry. So yeah. Yeah, I know. It's no big deal. Brush it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Just shake it off, honestly, because if it's not your toilet, they'll be going after me for mine. And mine is orange. So you could say a lot about my toilet. Anyway, yeah, it's all kind of silly to me. It really is. It's petty and silly. You could drop dead tomorrow. Nobody cares what kind of toilet you had when you were alive. It's just goofy. All right. No people are task-focused individuals motivated by the intent to get it right, by avoiding mistakes. Perfection is their standard for what should be done, where it should be done, when, by whom, and most importantly, how it should be done. When the shortcomings, weaknesses, and failings of others get in the way of perfection, then nothing measures up. Mistakes loom on the horizon, and no people feel despair, seeing themselves as the only ones willing and able to look at what is or will inevitably go wrong. The no people find the negatives in everyone and everything else. Thanks, Spoof. No, Evelyn, you have never said anything about my home. Electronic shaming. Like I have a better computer than yours. Is that what you mean? That kind of thing? You know, this is where I go back to the Bible and the Acts of Apostles. Nobody had anything better than anybody. They all just got together, and if somebody had a need, the other one would meet it. You know, if you didn't have, I don't know, we'll just use toilet paper for an example because of the whole COVID thing. If I didn't have toilet paper, somebody would give me toilet paper. If you needed, I don't know, a telephone and I had an extra one, I would give it to you. That's how we should live, not worrying about pointing out, hey, you don't have this, or you have an ugly one of those, or you're fat, or you're ugly, or you got a better computer than I have. If you're worried about somebody having a bad computer, take your money, go buy them a better one instead of complaining about it and shaming them for it. Just saying. Invest in a speak and spell. I know. I was talking to Matthew today about my little idiosyncrasies. Certain people's voices can get on my nerves. Certain intonations can get on my nerves. Repetition gets on my nerves. And as my husband said, if you're not autistic, I'll be darned, because everything just, you're touchy and sensory stimulated. Like I don't like certain things. It really gets to me. I may be autistic. They may not have caught that. I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I have no idea. But I just know certain things irritate me. But I would not make a video shaming somebody over it. I would just try to kind of minimize my contact with the person that is triggering me, or whatever you want to call it. Or maybe sit down and talk to them about it and say, hey, I just got to be honest with you. Your voice, it's just grates on my ever-living nerves. It's not your fault. You can't help how your voice is. I'm just letting you know that I'm having an issue with it. And it would have to be somebody I had a really close rapport with, not somebody I just met, because I wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable around me either. I understand. I wasn't there for the whole PC thing. I didn't watch that video, that channel. I did watch the video that you would allegedly say it was shaming you. just get along, y'all, over everything. Finance shaming. Finance shaming? Come on, Evelyn. Have you seen the videos done about me and my finances or lack thereof? I mean, people didn't even believe my water heater broke down. I had to literally show my water tank and my ex-husband fixing it because people did not believe my ex-husband was coming in to fix it. So I get it. This is what we do on here. Oh, I know, Rodney. I have set up so many videos to prove where I live, how I live, what I don't have, blah, blah, blah. It's endless. Oh, I'm not fighting a battle, Jeff. I'm just discussing. I'm not in any battle with anybody, honestly. I got enough in my real life I'm struggling with over, now. And by the way, guys, if you like my channel or these videos or even these discussions, feel free to hit the thumb up, like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos with my friends here and me. At least I hope they're my friends. I'm not out to shame anybody. I know what it is to live with less. I've been frustrated and complaining about it this morning about my own situation. So, yeah, it doesn't end. It's just different names, different faces targeting us from one day to the next. It is what it is. I'm still coming on and doing my thing, and then I can leave if it gets to be too much and go and live in the real world because that's just how I do. It's how I survive and have a good positive attitude as much as I can. I'm not always positive. Like I said, I was pretty negative before I got on here, but that was more about my home situation. I don't like my situation I'm in sometimes. So, and doing something about it means giving up my pets. I just don't have the heart to do that. I've already rehomed a couple, 2 or 3, and I just can't find it in my heart right now to let go. I'm not ready for that. But I know that, if I had less pets, it would be easier to find a different place and get out of here. So I'm very torn right now about that situation. I now own the house legally, so it's in my name. I own the house. I own the property. I don't know. It's a hard call. I really would not like to just sell the place and be done with it because it took 8 years to own this place. So part of me wants to still be here a while longer, and part of me wants to fix it up and sell it, but that costs money, which I don't have. There's just a lot of things going on in real life that matter to me and are more crucial in my life right now than worrying about what people think of me on YouTube to that extent. All right, let's go back to the book and I'll continue to chat with you in between. I appreciate everybody for being in here. How's it going, Jeff, Rodney, Evelyn, other than all this craziness, spoof? Good to see you all. And anybody that's observing and not chatting, good to see you as well. Welcome. All right, some know people put considerable energy into grumbling aloud, while others fall into completely passive and apathetic hopelessness. Through thoughts, words, and occasionally deeds negative, no people have the uncanny ability to extinguish hope in others and smother creative sparks before they catch fire. It's almost as if they protect the people around them from disappointment by preventing them from getting their hopes up. What goes up, they tell us, must come down. And what comes down, one could infer, must never get back up. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. Do tell if you want or not. If not, I'll just keep you in my prayers and my thoughts. As we said in the previous chapter, negativity has an insidious effect on others. It undermines motivation, stifles development, and leads to depression and hopelessness in others. Whereas the root of whining is the feeling of helplessness, the root of the no person's behavior is the feeling of hopelessness. And just like whining, this behavior is contagious. Allow it to keep happening, and before you know it, everyone starts doing it. Oh, who was? Okay, well, I don't know. I was sleeping last night. I don't know who went on about what or what y'all's ideas are about each other. Maybe you could sit down and work it out. Maybe agree to disagree. Maybe agree to part ways. I don't know. Yet no people do not intentionally try to make everyone miserable. They really do believe it's as hopeless as they say. They have all the certainty and arrogance of a know-it-all seduced by the dark side of the force. Extremely negative people build their lives on and around disappointments from past situations. The difficulties pass, but the bitterness lives on. So it is that negative people can develop deeply held assumptions about life that will paint all of their perceptions in the color of despair. So here we go with the no person. Look at where they are on the chart. They're up there in that perfection area right up here. The no person. They're striving for perfection. They want to get it right. Okay, but they feel like it's never going to get right too. So you'd better adjust your attitude. That's our next part here. The key to dealing with no people is to have compassion instead of contempt. You'll also need perspective and patience for the long haul ahead. You may never know, and you don't need to know, what trials and tribulations they've faced in their lives, what obstacles they've had to overcome, or what circumstances they've survived. Suffice it to say that when people turn sour, there's usually a negative history that preceded the behavior change. Yeah, even online, if people seem kind of negative, you can bet they've probably been here a while and they've probably been through some stuff. We recommend the dissociative techniques in Chapter 9, How to Change Your Attitude, to help you regain your perspective. Compare your dealings with no people to something even more unpleasant. You can think of something unless you've turned sour yourself. Or ask yourself, in 100 years, what will their negativity matter? Maybe y'all can do that. In 100 years, will it matter whether Rodney uses a bucket or a toilet or a hole in the ground to pee or poop in? Seriously, what does it matter? Will it matter if Evelyn or I have finances and we live on a hill in a castle? It's not going to matter, guys. It's not crucial to your well-being to care about how people live, what they do in their spare time, or whatever. It's just not. Major on the majors, not the minors. Just a thought. Okay. Though it may sometimes appear that, despite your best efforts to influence the behavior of your no person, nothing has changed, be patient with the process. Some behavioral change takes place at a snail's pace, yet there's a payoff for patience with the process. There are a few outcomes in life as gratifying as when a negative person gains the courage to let go of fear and begin to live. This new framework will change your response to their negativity. Your goal, transition to problem solving. When dealing with no people, your goal is to move from fault finding toward problem solving, from stagnation toward innovation, from decline toward improvement. You may not stop the flood of negativity completely, but you can succeed in turning the tide back to its proper course. We're going to talk about the action plan next. We want to know how to deal with the no people. Number 1, use the whiner strategy. Your first option for dealing with negative people is to use the whiner strategy in order to get them to be specific. No people, like whiners, are adrift in a sea of generalizations. But where whiners' generalizations cause them to feel helpless, the no people's generalizations make them feel hopeless. How does this work? The thing about generalizations is that once you make them, you start noticing only the evidence that matches them, while leaving out any evidence to the contrary. Oh, Rodney, it's just YouTube. It's just YouTube. It's how it is. People are going to always find something that they don't like to talk about. And you can prove till you're blue in the face, they're going to still have their opinions. You're not going to change their opinions. Let them think what they want. That's all you can do. Fighting it is not going to help you one iota. Trust me. I've been here 3 years dealing with stuff. So once no people give up all hope, they notice everything that fits their negative generalizations, thus reinforcing them and increasing their sense of certainty. That's why the motto of a chronically negative person is, I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic. I've said that before. Guilty as charged on that one. Don't waste your time trying to convince no people that things are not so bad or pointing out that things can always be worse. Instead, listen, backtrack, clarify for specifics, ask for solutions, and set future-focused action, just as you learned to do with the whiners in the previous chapter. I don't know, it boils down to this, Rodney and Evelyn and everybody in here. If somebody's saying something about you and you know it's not true, I used to tell my kids this all the time. They'd go to school and somebody would say, hey, Elby, that's not what they would say. Somebody would say to, I think it was Amber, your pants are too big or something dumb like that. And I'd say, well, are they? She'd be like, I don't think so. So then why does it bother you? Are you saying that somebody else's opinion matters to you more than what you know about yourself or what God says about you? No. Well, And she'd be like, thanks, Mom. She'd wander off. So it's the same thing, Rodney, Evelyn, me, Jeff, everybody. Don't let somebody else's opinion of you become greater in your mind than your own knowledge of yourself. If you feel good about who you are, if you like the toilet you have, if you're happy with your finances, then don't worry about what anybody else thinks of it. Let them make their videos and just laugh at it. Blow it off, shake it off. It's not worth getting bent out of shape over. It's not going to do you any good. Or you can take the other road and make your own videos and then go back and forth ad nauseum and provide plenty of enjoyment for others that get off on that sort of thing, watching people be torn down. Just saying. Also, when people make videos about you, you don't have to watch them. No, I'm not saying to me, Jeff. I'm saying other people find that laughable. Of course it's not laughable at all. Crimes are never laughable. Hi, Robin. Yeah, I'm saying, Jeff, no matter how much you fight against it, no matter what you do, I mean, you can report it to YouTube. You can report it to the police. You can report it to the authorities. You and I both know, Jeff, there's only so far anybody will go with it. I've talked to police officers on the phone about the harassment I've been through. I've talked to them in my state. I've talked to them in other people's states. And they say, just keep documenting it. Keep track of it. Keep what do they call it? A paper trail. That's what they told me. Keep a paper trail. Because you never know. Down the line, if you have enough evidence on that, we might be able to take action. But right now, until they come and physically threaten you, there's nothing we really can do. We can't really get involved because it's basically your word against theirs. And apparently a lot of the computer stuff isn't even admissible in a court situation nowadays. So what can you do? Seriously. If they're threatening you physically, coming into your town, bringing weaponry, harming you, that sort of thing, then obviously the authorities need to be confronted and, approached about it. But if they're just online harassing you, there's not a whole lot you can do other than block them, ignore them, laugh it off. And by laugh it off, I mean either roll your eyes and laugh at it. I don't mean if it's something personally affrontive, Jeff. I'm not talking about if they're tearing you down as a person. Obviously, you're not going to laugh about that. I just mean blow it off. It's really not going to be that serious if you just ignore it. But if you keep going to their channel and you're watching their videos, as my mom used to say, if you sit in and you hear two people gossiping and then you start hearing them gossiping about you, it's your own fault for sitting there and listening. My foster mom sent me something that said, it's none of my business what you think of me. That's true. And if I decide to venture onto a channel and I hear people bashing me and I'm all butthurt over it, then it was my own fault for watching it, for listening in. If I know that's what they're going to do, I know for a fact that I'm still being talked about on other channels. I've heard it. I've seen it. I've seen the videos. But what good does it do for me to complain about it? I've gotten, some strikes against some of the videos, but there's nothing more I can do. They can just make more, change their name, go to a different part on YouTube and make more. That's just how it is. I'm not worried about it. In my real life, if I have issues with somebody like face to face, if I have issues with somebody at work, then that's important to me. This stuff, not so much. Sorry, it's just not. I'm being honest with you. It's just not. Anyhow, I'm glad your cast is coming off, Rodney. All right, anyhow. But no, Jeff, I wasn't meaning laugh if somebody's harming you. That's not how I meant that to come out. Sorry about that. Okay. So, no people can potentially serve two valuable functions in your life. They can be your personal character builders, and they can serve as early warning system for problems. If you want to build muscle, you push against weight. Adversity builds character. So if you want to build character, hang out with no people and remain positive. Rather than trying to turn negative people into positive people, which would inevitably turn you into a negative person, Maintain a positive attitude. Tell yourself that you're in training for the big challenges of your life and your no person is on a mission to help you build your character. After all, this is a challenging world. Inner strength will be your reward for accepting the challenge, and character is an essential resource for a happy life. Aw, thanks, main girl. I know you do, but overwhelmingly, most people don't like my live streams with my reading. So, unfortunately. Okay, if you want to have some fun, the next time your no person starts to overwhelm you with negativity, place your hand gently on their shoulder, look them in the eye, and say, "Thank you for the wonderful work you're doing." It will probably confuse them and may stop them, and you'll probably feel better for messing with them. Thanks, Robin. No people can also serve a similar function to a smoke detector. They give you an early warning for potential problems. We know of one company that has a no person on its executive staff. The executives run every new idea, every plan of action past her, asking her to critique it before they move ahead. "I got this great idea, but I'm sure it's seriously flawed. Sue, break it down." This is strategic because if you ask, listen, and dig deep enough, you'll find some truth to the negative person's concern. Such knowledge can lead you and others to preventative action. Often, no people are the first to become aware of the problems that others have overlooked. While it's true that the no people generalize about these problems, it also may be true that what you don't know can hurt you far more than negative behavior. Oh, cool. Well, LB and main girl, why don't you let me know when you can be available for the book readings, and we'll just plan on getting together and I'll read to you on a live stream. And then whoever comes in, comes in. I'd be happy to do that since I know there's at least 2 people that like it. Let me know. Let's get together on a time and I'll make sure I'm here for that if I possibly can be. And we can just have a little get together, like a book review or book reading thing together. And then, like I said, whoever comes, comes. All people generalize on occasion, and all communications, including this sentence, are generalizations to some degree. Negative people generalize about problems. They begin by observing details that suggest something is, or will go wrong, and then expand out from the details to encompass all the world. Everything's wrong. Nothing's right. It'll never work. That's the point where you must backtrack and clarify to get the specifics. The more clearly you define the problem, the more likely that you will find adequate solutions. Okay, a woman attending one of our seminars told us a story involving her husband, Bob, whom she described as a classic negative person. The Cub Scouts were planning a trip to Washington, D.C., and the 2 people responsible for organizing it began to get nervous, wondering if anything could go wrong. They decided to bring her husband in on a meeting, figuring that if anything could go wrong, Bob was most likely to identify and point out any problems with the plan in advance. Sure enough, he did. He started with big generalizations, too. But by backtracking what he said and then clarifying for specifics, they were able to identify in advance several real potential problems and took steps to prevent them before beginning the trip. Buy some time. Option 3. No people tend to operate in a different time reality than other people. Any effort to rush them to a decision will force them to slow down. Push them for action, and no people will put enough drag on things to bring a group to a complete stop. Or they'll become the sand in the gears that eventually destroys the machine. It may be tempting to throw them out, exclude them, or slam a door in their face, but the wiser course of action is to give them time to think and leave the door open so they can come back in when ready. You can indicate that the door will remain open with statements like, "If you change your mind, let us know," or "When you think of a solution, get back to me," or "Why don't you think about this for a while and report back any ideas that you have for preventing or solving the problem?" While the modern world provides pressure on all of us to get more done in less time, sometimes patience wins the race, not by going the fastest, but by identifying a clear and unobstructed way forward. If you can buy some time, your willingness to hurry up by slowing down at the starting line may gain big rewards. Option 4, go for the polarity response. What do you get when you tell a 2-year-old to go to bed? A polarity response. "I don't want to go to bed." The more you insist that they go, the more they insist they won't. You can actually use this attempt at staying opposite to you to your advantage by telling the child, you can't go to bed and you have to stay up all night. The 2-year-old is likely to say, but I'm tired. Sometimes, unless you have my kids. Then they'll be like, oh, good, we get to stay up all night. And they do. Sunday. That's a good idea. Like after I get back from church and eat my lunch. What time is it? So maybe 1 or 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Got it. You find the same pattern in teenagers who hate being told what to do and want to define themselves as being different from you. Tell them their ideas are bad and they'll go to great lengths to prove you wrong by acting on those bad ideas. If it seems adversarial, that's because it is. It's also predictable and you can deal with it by using it yourself. The single worst thing you can do with no people is try to convince them that things aren't so bad. This forces them to polarize more deeply into their negativity. The deeper they go, the more insistent they become that things are worse than you think. Attempting to convince no people to be positive is like struggling to climb out of quicksand. The harder you struggle, the more embedded you become. But when you meet them at the edge of their polar response and go just a little further, the only way they can stay negative to your negativity is to go positive. You guys want 1 or 2 o'clock? Just let me know. We once had an opportunity to observe a brilliant therapist use the polarity response on a depressed client who was doing his best to convince the therapist that he was completely hopeless. When all his other attempts failed, the therapist gave every impression of agreeing with the client, saying, okay, you win. Of the thousands of unhappy people that I've worked with, you have convinced me that you are the most hopeless, worthless human being I've ever seen. And there's no hope that you will ever get better. The client looked shocked as he considered that for a long moment, then replied, come on, I'm not that bad. Oh, 2 p.m. East Coast. That's 1 p.m. my time, right? 1 p.m.? Does that work for you, main girl? 1 p.m. Sundays? Book read? I can even do StreamYard and y'all can come up on the panel with me if you want. Oh, yum, spoofer. You're speaking my language. I love Lindor truffles. Strawberry's the best. I've never had it, but that sounds delicious. The client looked shocked as I'm sorry, I already read that. We know of a CEO who was complaining to his assistant about how the employees in his company were inefficient, incompetent, and utterly incapable of doing a single thing right. His assistant, with a look of utmost earnestness on his face, suggested, you're right. Let's take them all outside, shoot them, and burn the building down. The CEO laughed at this idea, then admitted, all right, it isn't that bad. There are 2 ways to apply this polarity response when dealing with no people. The first is to bring up the negatives before they do. Here's my idea, and here's what I see, where I see it has problems. When no people hear that you're approaching your idea realistically, seeing what's wrong, they often point out how to make it right. A second way to use this polarization principle is to agree with the hopelessness of the situation and take it one step further. Throw down the gauntlet by insisting that even they would be incapable of finding a solution to this problem. You're right, it's hopeless. In fact, not even you could find a way to solve this problem. Don't be surprised to see your no person go in the opposite direction, telling you that it can be done and how to do it. Option 5, acknowledge their good intent. If you're willing to project good intent onto negative behavior, no people may come to believe it themselves. Then their analytic perfectionism can be expressed in a more useful way that is actually helpful. Here are some positive intentions you can project onto no people. Oh, sounds great, spoofer. I appreciate that you have such high standards. Thank you for the willingness to speak up and point out problems so we can come up with solutions. Thank you for making us aware of the pitfalls we will have to avoid. Remember, when you project positive intent onto another person, you need a degree of authenticity for it to be believable and a lot of patience because you may need to keep at it over a long period of time. Think of each positive projection as giving the no people a push in that positive direction. Even negative people prefer to think of themselves in a constructive way rather than a destructive way. They're unlikely to deny your positive projections regarding their negative behavior, and if you stick with it, they may eventually internalize your projections as their own and then adjust their behavior to be more constructive. It's interesting to me because narcissists project negative stuff onto people. Like if they're being mean to people, like I'll use Becky as an example, like I always do because she told me I could. She would ask people to come to her with prayer requests or so she could minister to them. And then she'd get mad because they were needy and they would constantly come to her. So then she would say, well, Laura, you're not a very good minister because you resent the people that come to you for prayer. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute. I haven't resented anybody. That's you you're talking about, not me. That's a negative projection onto me because Becky couldn't handle the negativity of herself. She had to put it on me rather than accept it in herself and own that. So, yeah. But in projecting onto a negative no person, you are actually going along with what they're feeling and you're acknowledging it by saying, thank you for making us aware of the pitfalls we'll have to avoid. Thanks for letting me know what could go wrong. Thanks for getting back to me about the flaws in that plan. You're basically projecting that they're a good person for finding the negatives and the faults. And that validates them. Really what this all boils down to, this entire book, dealing with people you can't stand, is that validation factor. Everybody wants to feel important, like they have something to offer. Everybody wants to be validated. At least most people I know of do. Even self-deprecators that put themselves down all the time want you to come along and say, that's not true about you. Well, there's this thing and that thing that you're good at, and you're so talented in this, and I really admire how you do that. They like that, even though they may not be able to receive it. Maybe they'll just go, oh, no, don't say that. You're embarrassing me. Deep down inside, I think most people, even self-deprecators, enjoy the fact that you're pointing out that they have positivity and good traits inside of themselves, and they're not bad people. Because most people that I know of, anyway, are not all bad. Okay. Let's see, where are we here? Hang on a sec. When something does work out that the no person said would not, avoid the temptation to say, I told you so. Instead, include the no person in the victory celebration. Even if the no person was a dead weight on the entire project, speak and act as if the no person was part of the team effort that led to the victory. This not only affects the no person, but can sometimes have a remarkable effect on other people's perceptions of the no person. We know a team leader who used this strategy. After the team had been recognized at 4 different award banquets, the no person pulled all of them aside and said, I've been moved by all this recognition for the work our team has done. I'm no longer certain about many of the things I've long held to be into the negativity. To be true. And I've been thinking maybe you're right after all. Maybe this proves that some things can work out, that disappointment isn't inevitable, that people can rise to the challenge and overcome. Maybe it does, and I still have my doubts, but maybe. Hey, even the biggest changes start with small beginnings. Great moments in difficult people history. We are almost done with this. We've got like about 2 more pages here, guys. Hang with me, if you will. Okay, the U.S.-Russian hockey detente. I think that's how you say it. At his first game with a new group of guys, Rick really tried not to react to Vladimir's negativity, but before you knew it, they were having words, and he left the game feeling bad that he had finally met his first Russians, and he was already at war with one of them. Since peace begins with individuals, and since he was the co-author of a book about bringing out the best in people at their worst, he decided to put in the effort to bring about the goal of peaceful coexistence. During the next game, Rick suggested to Vladimir that they play on the same team together. Have not been there, Rodney. Sounds delicious. To their surprise, the two of them had complementary skills and good chemistry together. Vladimir was somewhat of a perfectionist about hockey, as was Rick. They both didn't care as much about winning as about having a good game, and they both loved combining to make pretty play. Rick was now able to understand Vladimir's frustration with everyone else. Half of the other players just wanted to win and didn't care how, and the other half didn't know what they were doing, and that was the source of Vladimir's hockey negativity. It was ironic that Vladimir, who Rick thought was going to be his most difficult person, turned out to be the most fun to play hockey with. They did great together. Their only problem now was getting other people to play on the same team with them, because no one wanted to deal with Vladimir's constant negative criticism. One day, Rick said to Vladimir, "I think it's great how much you care about others learning to play well." Of course, Vlad's answer to that was a confused "what?" Rick explained, "Well, it's obvious that you care a lot about the people playing better because you spend a lot of time telling them what they do wrong. Why bother if you didn't want them to learn what to do right, right? Project positive intent." He said, "I suppose. For positive projection to be effective, you must be consistent over time." So whenever they played hockey and Vladimir started to criticize someone, Rick would approach him and say, "Thanks for helping him," or "Good, now he knows what to do the next time," or "Soon we will all be passing the puck." After 3 weeks of persistent positive projection twice a week, 2 hours a night, Rick and Vladimir were in the locker room, and Rick decided to test his results. He said, "Vladdy, you're a guy who cares a lot about people learning, aren't you?" And he said, "Da, this is true." So, once no people accept a positive projection about their intent, they're ready for some feedback. So Rick said, "Have you noticed that nobody's getting better around here?" There was a moment of silence as he got thoughtful, and then he said with a deep concern, "Da, Rick, do you think maybe, well, could it be that they are all stupid?" Rick stifled a laugh and said, "I don't know about stupid, but when it comes to communication, I believe that if what you're doing isn't working, try something else. We've told them what they're doing wrong. Why don't we tell them only how to do it correctly for the 2 weeks and see if that makes a difference?" Well, not surprisingly, Vladimir wasn't too hopeful about that idea, but he was willing to try it. And a funny thing happened. He noticed that when he told people how to do something correctly, they did it correctly. When he told them what they were doing wrong, they repeated the mistake. His behavior became increasingly focused on the positive and therefore more constructive to the others. And as the others' game improved, Vladimir, the former no person, became a valued member of the team. Thank you, LB. I tried. I was reading it off of the page here. That's how it was written. DATDA. I was reading what it says, and I was trying to think of how Russians sound. Nothing against Russians whatsoever. The negativity jar. A manager we know who was hired to run an office with chronically low morale devised and implemented a brilliant policy for dealing with complaints and negativity. If an employee uttered a negative word, thought, or entire complaint without a suggestion, he or she had to put a quarter in the negativity jar, which was nothing more than a large pickle jar with the label still attached and a bit of pickle fragrance left in it. All money put in that jar was to be used for a Thank God It's Friday company party to be held once a month. 2 notable outcomes occurred. First, as the jar quickly filled up, people started to take notice of just how negative they had been. This perspective had a profound impact on the employees. They gradually realized that they had developed a collective weaned on a pickle look, and they saw what a pickle had put them in. Second, the monthly party was an excellent morale builder that everyone enjoyed. As a result, employees would exaggerate the negativity of different events as an excuse to put more money into the jar for bigger and better parties. As the cloud of negativity dissipated, the workplace atmosphere improved dramatically. The party was moved from Friday to Monday and renamed the Thank God It's Monday party. The manager convinced the company to pay for it based on increased productivity. Oh yeah, and the pickle jar yielded its place on the cabinet to a memorial cookie jar with the words, "Every cloud has a silver lining," printed brightly on the lid. Cool. So here's our quick summary, just in case you haven't heard it all. Maybe you're coming in a little bit late today. When someone becomes a no person, here's your goal. Transition to problem solving. Number 1, use the whiner strategy. 2, use them as resources. 3, buy some time. 4, go for the polarity response. And 5, acknowledge their good intent. And if you have missed the whiner video that I did about the whiner, feel free to click wherever I put it on the page somewhere in this video. You will see the whiner strategy. I'll try to remember that's the one I need to post for a reference, and you go back and see how we deal with whiners, and that will help you with the no person. So that is the end of that reading. And the next one will be a fun one. It's the judge. Boy, everybody want to put me in that position right there. That's Dispeller right there. She's the judge. So that will be next. The judge. And that's not a super lengthy chapter at all. That will be followed by the meddler. People that butt into everybody's business and think it's their own. The martyr. And what if people can't stand you? And there's a few other chapters after that. So the judge for the next chapter, I'll show you the picture. A pretty stern looking judge. Almost looks like a woman, I guess, with the wig on. Could be a guy. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, you're a no person and a judge. Okay. I'm going to look back at your comments here so I make sure I don't miss anybody. Thanks for chatting, by the way. It makes it so much easier to do things when you see people actually talking in a chat room. So spoof has not been, you haven't been to the, was it the East you said, I think? You went to Chicago once. Yeah, Chicago is an interesting place. A little bit too busy for me, but I've been to Chicago as well. Make sure you reinforce everything you see positively. Yeah, it does work, main girl. That's true. Fashion week would be so fun. No person and probably yeah, cool. Thanks for your comments, guys. Sitting here eating cantaloupe, by the way. In between. Anyway. I hope you guys can work out whatever your online situations are. I don't know exactly what's happening because I'm really kind of out of the loop. Yes, it's pretty amazing, the lights and the sounds in Chicago, and it's almost like New York City, I guess maybe on a smaller scale or a larger scale. I don't know. I'm not sure which is bigger, Chicago or New York City. I've never been to New York City. I have no idea anything about it other than it's busy, dangerous, lots of lights, lots of noise. Well, that's cool. I'm not a lover of travel. I like my bed, my house, being home with my pets, being in the familiar territory. Maybe if I didn't have so many pets and I didn't have anybody, I might travel. Oh, that's fine. Rodney, I don't mind typos at all. You go ahead and type all you want. Not a problem. I bet. Yes, we have fireworks over here on the Mississippi River that are pretty amazing. I don't like noise because of sensory issues. I don't go to firework displays. Every time I've had like major problems with seizures and stuff like that, mini seizures. So I don't tend to go where there's a lot of loud noises and bright flashing stuff in my face. I will watch them in my backyard though. Mm-hmm. I think lots of people are, LB. So yeah, I think I will try to plan on doing our readings on Sundays at 1 my time, which is Central Standard, which will be 2 the time of the person that said that earlier that I can't remember if it was LB or who it was. Boofer, maybe? It was way back up in the chat. Thanks for giving me your input that you actually, there we go, 2 p.m. East Coast. Yeah. So it'll be 1 my time, 2 p.m. your guys' time or that person's time. And maybe other people will come in at that same time and enjoy the reading. I don't know. So that'll be good. I'm glad I have 2 committed people that I can count on to be here. We'll be doing the judge next Sunday then. The meddler and the martyr and what if people can't stand you. And then communication in a digital age. They're going to talk about communicating by phone, communicating on email, that sort of thing as well. You go for it, LB. I believe in you that you will make it happen. I believe you. Now we can just sit here and chat all you want. I don't mind. Let me show you my dilemma that I'm dealing with. I can't actually show you because Matthew screwed the thing on, but remember the water heater, you guys, way back in the day? So I don't know if you can see it in there because I can't see it. There's a blue tank underneath near the water heater. There's a pipe that goes to the blue tank. The pipe sprung a leak. So we've had to shut our water off, and when we want to use it, we have to turn it on temporarily, and it leaks while it's on, leaks out. So that's my real life dilemma I'm dealing with right now. Hopefully it will be fixed tomorrow, and that will be one less thing I have to contend with. Hi, beautiful man. Mr. Bumblebee, so pretty. You be nice to the mama now? No more biting, no more hurting me? This guy was attacking me before he was biting me. He was kicking me. What you got in your hair, dude? What you got up there? You're such a pretty Bobo with a big smile on your face. It's my baby. Mommy loves you, boy. Yeah. You want to kiss me? You want to kiss Mama? Or you just want me to rub your cheek? Yeah, pretty boy. He's my handsome guy. He's like, where you going? Where you going, Mom? Look at Mavie over here. Maverick's sleeping in the sunshine in the window. He's got a big smile on his face. There's the Momo. There's the Momo cat. Yeah. Teddy bear is over here. So I was going to tell you yesterday, if Hillary was in the room, she could see where Teddy sleeps. He's right in there. He's right on in that cabinet. I don't know if any of the cats are in with Matthew. I'm not sure. Oh, there's Meech. Meechy's down there. There's the Meech. Hi, Meech. And I think Neo might be outside, but I'm not sure. Let's see if he's in here. He's not in there. I think Nene went outside. It's all my babies. I know, me too, Spoof. I love my kitties. Gotcha, Rodney. Super Bowl's on. All bets are off. Rodney's watching the game. Gotcha. I know, Spoof. I've heard that Texas has their own law system. They don't play. I don't have any problem leaving the room open for some chat. It's all good. Did Jeff and Evelyn leave? I really don't want Jeff to think I'm making light of his feelings at all. It was kind of the perception I was getting, that he thought I was telling him to laugh off being persecuted. And no, not by any means. But when you get bent out of shape over stuff that goes on here, there's not really much recourse to deal with it. Anyway. I only know that because I've tried for quite a while and nothing's done. Yeah, I know, Spoof. I know that's right. And lots of people in Texas own guns, too. Like the wild, wild west out there, from what I understand. I actually went to Texas once. So I kind of know a little bit about it. The attitudes there are a little bit different than in other states, in my opinion. Tell you, the cantaloupe is not very ripe this time of year at all. Target practice is a fun pastime. I used to do target practice with a bow and arrow and little BB gun. The BB gun shot little yellow plastic BBs, though, not anything serious. We used to shoot cans. We would put them up like in a pyramid. Boom. I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed bow and arrow, too. When I was little enough, I had a bow and arrow with the suction cup on it. Yeah, good stress relief. It's so different how it was when I was growing up versus now. It really is. Very different day and age we live in. People automatically read things into things that aren't meant that way, especially online, I think, more so on social media. You may just say something very innocent off the cuff and somebody takes it very seriously. And I'm guilty of taking things seriously that weren't meant to be as well. Oh, yeah. Very true, Rodney. I could see where that could be the case. Yes. Yep. Bowling is a good stress reliever, too. That it is. Oh, goodness. Yeah, nobody needs to be an intruder, that's for sure. Funny that we're talking about that. I was just watching Fantasy Island, the show, and these ladies wanted to be Charlie's Angels. So they broke into this guy's bungalow. Intruders. I want to see if I can play a little bit of this prayer meeting for you. Just to kind of give you a taste of sort of my biblical background, my faith.
That's who we have inside of us. Lord God, we thank you, Father God, that we will develop. We will honor you and develop our faith, Father God, and read the word and pray in the Spirit, Father God, so that, Lord, we can be all that you've called us to be. Lord, we're thanking you, Jesus. We're blessing you.
Don't know if you can make out what they're saying.
It will be attached to me, the ecclesia, says the Lord, and you brought yourself into a place of birthing. You've laid your hands beneath your knees, and you have been giving birth to a spirit of revival. The spirit of my son, says the Lord, will begin to sweep this region, to begin to sweep through this congregation. How about now? That would be good. To begin to sweep through your family, says the Lord. For I have wakened you up. I have caused these birth pains, says the Lord, and I will begin to come through you because I have over you, says the Lord. And
so that's kind of a little bit to give you a little bit of a taste of the places that I fellowship and how we pray. It got to be a little bit too much for me after a while because there was a lot of everybody saying, yes, Lord, amen, thank you, Jesus, blah, blah, blah. And it got to be too much. I had to leave the room because I have sensory problems. So if there's too much outside crosstalk going on after a while, I can't deal with it. So I stayed in for like most of the time, about 45 minutes, and then I had to leave. But it's nothing but positivity. I mean, there was a couple that came in and said they had lost somebody. They had died that morning, or they just found out about it that morning. And immediately people hovered around them, laid hands on them, and started praying for them. So when I say that YouTube is very different from my belief system and everything, that's what I mean about that. It's always positive. And even when I try to complain about something or say, yeah, I live in this house and I got this problem and blah, 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 what I get responded to with is, well, we just thank you, Jesus, that you're the provider. We thank you that you're able. You're more than able. And they don't even let you finish your sentence. They just start automatically praying. Or they'll cut you off and say, well, we know who our provider is. We know that he's able. We know that he'll do this for you. Sometimes it's kind of, it's nice being around that positivity. And other times it's like, darn it all, just let me complain. Let me be negative, darn it. Let me tell you my situation. Then you can pray till your heart's content, but let me get my sentence out, So it's a mixed blessing and not really a curse, but it can be really maddening at times when you want to say something, because they will literally cut you off in your tracks and just start reminding you of God being your provider and God taking the reins and redoing your situation and whatever. I know, Rodney, I was raised Catholic, sang in the folk group for many years. I'm not talking about Catholic. I don't go to a Catholic church. I renounced Catholicism years ago. I want nothing to do with the Catholic Church as far as their belief system goes. But I already know with the Catholic belief system, the priest is the ruler, the Pope is over him, the bishops, etc. I know all about that. LB, for the most part, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. I really don't. I often thought about, wow, what if I could just hop on a plane or a bus or whatever and go travel to my enemies' houses and show up in person and say, hey, it's me, Laura, Dispeller. Hi. What would they do? Probably be shocked. Would they slam the door in my face? Would they say, get out of here? I don't want anything to do with you. Makes me wonder sometimes. I don't know. And what would I think of them? Because I can tell you from the few people that I have met online and then met them in person, it was very odd. It was weird meeting people in person that were online, because it's like, here's this real person. Hey, girl interrupted. But it's like their energy is there then. Their essence of who they really are is there at that point. So it's just very different. Sometimes it's kind of disillusioning in a way, because they're not who they are online at all. They're totally different. Like somebody that's all feisty and fighting online, if you meet them in person, they may be like totally shy. It's fine, Rodney. You didn't need to retract that. You can speak about faith and beliefs in here. I was raised Catholic. I know all about what Catholics believe. I made my confirmation. I went to confession, sang in the folk group, went to CCD, CYO, was raised in it from the time I was a baby. Renounced it when I turned 16 and got saved. What breaks down barriers? You mean meeting them in person breaks down barriers? Yeah. And I'm thankful I was raised with some belief that there was somebody bigger than myself out there. I will say that. But Catholicism, we won't get into that, what I think of that. I could do a whole video series on that for sure. Doesn't mean I don't like you if you're Catholic either. I have utmost respect for people For the most part, in general, no matter what you believe. Yes, meeting people in person would probably shock people, I think. There's a lady that is part of the church that I go to, and I think she has MS. And she walks crooked, and her arms go like this, like somebody with MS would have that lack of control over the limbs and things. Nobody puts her down. Nobody treats her any differently than somebody that doesn't have MS. That's why I think you're right, LB. I think in person it might be a whole different ballgame. And then there are some people that are just mean people who will be just as mean in person as they are on here. But I would venture to say, in my opinion, most people on here, even the ones that act like bullies, I don't think they would have the guts to do that in person, a lot of them. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much I could say. I'll save that for another live stream. But if I ever decide to talk about religions again, because that is part of what I do study religions and cults. It's always been part of my channel. I will definitely share my thoughts on that at some point. I'll probably get a lot of flack for that, though, because there is a large population of the world that is Roman Catholic. And if that's all you know, that's what you believe the religion is, the belief system is, and nobody's going to sway you. I know, I have family that's Catholic still, and they believe that that is the religion, the right religion. I do not have a religion, y'all. I don't. You can call it a religion if you want. That would not be accurate. I have a faith belief and a system, a faith belief system. I do not have a religion. Religion is man-made. Faith, relationship with Yahushua, Jesus, whatever, is a relationship. It's not a religion. Religion is you genuflect, which is kneeling before the altar. Hey, jungle girl. And you do the sign of the cross, and you go to confession, and you make your confirmation, and you might be an altar boy. You might study to be a priest or a female priest or whatever. That's religion. I'm not religious, and I don't like being called religious at all. I don't like being called Christian. I don't like being called Catholic. I don't like being called religious. I'm not Catholic because I renounced it. I'm not Christian because I don't act like the typical Christians that I see at all. And God help me if I ever do. If I ever have. I've repented and made my life right with God if that was the case. Non-denominational would be a way you could definitely describe me. And yet I do kind of have a denomination because I'm Messianic Jewish and I'm faith-based. I was talking to my husband today. I said, if I opened up a church, I would probably call it the Oxymoron Church of Yahweh because I am Word of Faith and I'm Messianic Jewish, which is kind of an oxymoron because if you know anything about even the Messianic Jews, they believe in mostly the Torah, although they do believe in some New Testament stuff too. And Word of Faith, it's kind of weird because Messianic Jews and Jews, a lot of them believe that fate is kind of just something that happens to you. You don't really have control over it. Word of faith or full gospel or faith beliefs teach you that you can speak things into being. So it's kind of an oxymoron. Oh, wow. Jungle Girl. Yeah. People don't understand, things that they don't know about. I don't want to say people are ignorant because that's rude. But people that don't understand, they tend to criticize or assume things. Hi, Dana. But honestly, I have found a lot of enrichment in my Messianic Jewish practice, and I have found a lot of blessing in my faith beliefs. But there are things I don't like about both. Sometimes the Judaism side of things can be a bit strict, and sometimes the Word of Faith, full gospel faith beliefs can be very legalistic. Aw, bless your heart, Jungle Girl. This lady does too. She walks very sideways and her feet are crooked and her arms are like, spasmed like that. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just demonstrating, and she would be fine with it because she would want me to describe it. I don't shame people. Oh, okay. Okay, well then plan on me doing the book read next week at 1 o'clock my time. And hopefully you will remember and make it there. It's hard to get everybody together, but I'll just do it anyways, and hopefully you'll show up, and Spoofer will be there, and whoever else can be there or wants to be. That'll be cool. Then you won't have to hear me book read during the week. That will be a plus, probably. We'll just leave it on the weekends. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Oh, yawning. Have a wonderful day, Albie. Shalom. Peace on all you do, and protection as well. I love the little blessing that my pastor does. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he grant you peace. And we walk by faith, not by sight. Something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was the only one there today with a mask on, too. Because I have a compromised immune system. And while I'm already in enough debt, I really don't want to not be able to work to get myself out of it. So the mask went on. I didn't care that I was the only one wearing a mask. It did not bother me in the least. They just don't care. They believe by faith that they're not going to get sick. Pastor's son just got over COVID, so we believe we're victorious against it, and that's that. It's a faith church. That's why, Jungle Girl. If you've never been to a faith church, you might want to look it up online, and you'll understand. They believe you speak things into being. And if you speak that you're not going to get sick, you're not going to get sick. That's the best answer I can give you as to why they don't. Nobody had a mask on other than me. Yeah, a lot of people do. Girl interrupted. I don't know if I have antibodies or not, but it's not a chance I'm taking. Oh, okay. You got tested. Good. Yeah, I'm not getting tested. You've been to many, many churches in the past. Have you been to like a full gospel church? Or a word of faith church? Or a faith belief church? Oh, then you know what I mean. They walk by faith, not by sight. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, it does not affect them because by faith, it doesn't affect them. Okay, see you later, Rodney. Have a blast. I wish I could hop in a car and just go to the store. That'd be awesome. Maybe by spring I'll be able to get another car. Who knows? We'll see. Or at least get mine fixed. One of them. Maybe both. I don't know. Been to many synagogues and Catholic churches. I've been to Catholic. I've been to Baptist. I've been to Messianic Jewish, Episcopalian, Presbyterian. I think Jehovah Witness, Seventh-day Adventist. Possibly Mormon, but I can't remember. Church of Latter-day Saints. Okay, yeah. Spoofer knows. They do that too in my church, Spoof, the one I go to now. Oh, wow. Girl interrupted. Then how do you have the antibodies if you also have long COVID? That's interesting. Well, I hope you feel better. I know it's a process, but I hope you start feeling better. That's awful. Wouldn't wish it on anybody, like I always say. had to pay to get your car dug out. Oh, yikes. That's not good. Sorry about that. Oh, I hear you. Girl interrupted. I like the Catholic songs, and I might even do some. One, like I did that Jewish song the other day. I showed one of my mentors that Jewish song that I did, my video. She's like, I don't understand a word of what you're saying. I don't even know what that's about. I said, it's about basically, first of all, Abraham going to a promised land. And also about if we're ever called to do something and we're not sure what the future holds or what's going to be there when we get there, God is with us. That's what it's about. I'll tell you a little story though. This is kind of interesting, and hopefully people do not take offense because I'm not trying to be offensive in the least. The lady that sings that song, Lehi Lach, and among other Jewish songs, she kind of Americanized the Jewish songs. She used to sing with Peter, Paul, and Mary, or at least Peter from Peter, Paul, and Mary. I'll be right back because my cat's meowing. Come in. Hi, Neil. Hang on, I'm going to give Nene some food. Hang on, buddy. I'll get you some. Hey, buddy. There you go, buddy. The lady who sings that song and the other Americanized Jewish songs is a lesbian, or was a lesbian, and she died from pneumonia complications. And I didn't know that, but it didn't make me like the music any less. I loved the music, and I still love the music, and I'll still sing the music because it really touched my spirit and my heart hearing her sing that. But I wasn't super shocked either. I just kind of felt like I already knew. But I would have loved to meet her and get to know her, maybe even sing with her. I think that would be awesome. Yes, I know, Sue. I've been told that as well. You hate snow. Ooh, 18 inches. I'm sorry, Jungle Girl. That's terrible. Whereabouts are you, if you can tell me? You don't have to be specific, but north, south, east, west. Thank you, Jungle Girl. I love to sing, and I'm thankful I have my voice back. When I had COVID, I couldn't sing. I could barely talk with COVID. It was terrible. And I felt like it was never going to end. Like I was never going to have my voice back. I was never going to be able to work again. I was never going to go out the door again. It was terrible. Oh, New Jersey. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You got hit with some snow for sure. Because I'm from Buffalo, New York originally. And I know they got hit with snow. And you guys can keep it up there. I don't want it down here in Illinois. I don't want any. But yeah, I think I've been thinking about singing some Catholic songs as well. I was telling my husband this morning, I was reading a post about Debbie Friedman that wrote the Jewish music and stuff. And people were fighting like crazy because they were saying she was a closeted homosexual, and it was sad that she died and couldn't come out of the closet before she passed away because she was so brilliant and so talented. Why did she have to hide her lifestyle and all this other stuff? And then there were people chiming in saying, yeah, I agree. It was terrible. She should have been able to be open about her beliefs and who she was. And then other people were like, well, I knew her personally. She was very open about it. And she actually told everybody about it at one of her concerts. And then another person was like, well, why do you care? It's none of your business about people's affiliation and beliefs and practices. And so they fight like we fight on here. It's everywhere. It's on every website. It's on people in like cat websites where they're arguing over what to feed your cat. You can fight about anything, literally anything, if you want to. That's why I said it's useless. Why not find out what we have in common and focus on that? And we could all get along with a little bit of humor and some commonality focus. I'm just saying. That's the way I try to do it. I'm not very good at it at times with certain people. I try. I really like to get along with people, but I can't always. Some people don't want to get along with me. So we got very little snow. We got some, but we have like patches of grass in between the snow. Let's see if I can show you without letting any of the cats out. And it's cold, so I don't want to freeze my toes off, but give you a little gander at my yard. Ted, it's too cold for you out there. Get goofing out of here. Goofing around trying to get out the door. Okay, so we are outside. This is my lawn in the front here. You could kind of see there's snow, but there's patches of grass, and it's already started melting here. So it's not too bad. Can't complain. Ignore my junk. I have to clean this whole side yard. It's ridiculously messy, and I don't even want to show you, and I'm embarrassed. So, yeah. It's pretty bad. Okay. Oh, I know, Jungle Girl. I'm glad you feel comfortable chatting in here. Thanks. That means the world to me. That I can make it that comfortable for you to chat. Thank you, Jungle Girl. I appreciate that. I'm trying to be calm and at peace and get along with people. And even in my real life, I'm trying very hard to focus on the similarities and not argue about the differences. Because you're going to meet so many people in your life, and everybody's going to be a little bit different in some way. And it might be a big way. It might be something that just clashes with you so bad that you can't get past it. So maybe you need to like distance yourself from that particular person. But then there's other people that they just have like one or two little nitpicky things that bug you, and you can handle it and you can kind of get close to them and stuff. It's real easy to see flaws in people that you don't like or things you think are flaws. It's harder to pick up on the positive things at times, I think. For me, anyways, it is. But I still try. I still try to do that. I try to even see the good in my enemies, honestly. You know, Corrie ten Boom, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. Corrie ten Boom was captured by the Nazis. And she even learned to see good in her captors and her torturers and her enemies. So if Corey can do it, and I'm not being tortured or harmed by anybody, I sure can try to cultivate that in myself, I think. I'm trying. I'm working on it and at it. Yeah, those snowplows will mat it down. Yes, The Hiding Place. It was an amazing book. The snowplows will mat it down, and then like here, they'll push it like right in front of your driveway. So you have to shovel your way out. Thankfully, they haven't done that this year. And my neighbor's son or son-in-law, I'm not sure, has a snowplow. So he plows our driveway so we can get in and out of it, which is awesome. Even though I don't drive, it's nice to even be able to walk and get the mail down that big long driveway without hurting myself too much. I've already fallen once this winter, but not irreparably damaged from it. Hi, honey. There is my man. He's got his Not Today Satan shirt on. Do you want me to move so you can get up? Get over there. Yes, it's very kind of them. We didn't even know who was doing it. And then my neighbor told us the other day that he was the one that was plowing. He got a plow for his truck or whatever. And I guess he's doing it for a business now or something. So he helped plow us out. Jungle Girl says, hello, Matt. He said, yeah. He woke up from a nap. He's kind of not with it yet. You might want to eat some of this before I like destroy the whole bowl. Why? Got a stomachache?
It doesn't taste good.
Oh, there are some parts that are riper than others. Not that one. So I have a new schedule for my book reading.
Yeah.
Sundays at 1. LB will be there and Spoof will be there for me. They sub. Yeah, I saw the Hiding Place movie. I don't think I read the book, Spoof. It was back when I was living with my foster mom. They really were into that type of stuff, just studying about the Holocaust and things. Your dog loves cantaloupe. My guinea pigs adore cantaloupe. They love it. Here, I'll feed the guinea pigs the cantaloupe. You can watch. They can't have a lot of it, but I can give them like a piece or two a day. I knew you wouldn't stay out there, Momo. She thinks she wants to go outside. Then she goes out and she's all like, let me in. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. Meet the guinea pig. Here, I'm going to open up the cage so you can see better. Hi, girls. Hey, girlies. Who wants the cantaloupe? Who wants it? Okay, Feline got that piece. Hang on, Riri. I got one for you. Riri. You want it, Bunny? What? It's okay. Riri. No? Bunny want it? There you go. You can see better that way. See, didn't you get one? Feline's stealing bunnies. Hang on, I'll get you one, Bun. Fifi took yours. Here, Bunny Bun. Here. You don't want it? What are you doing, Mr. Man? You can't eat cantaloupe. You're a kitty cat. Kitties don't eat cantaloupe. I guess you could. If you really wanted cantaloupe, Mommy could give you some. Yeah, it's my handsome man. My handsome boys. I'm my baby boy. Just the Bobo man. The Bobo man with the human eyes. The kitty with the man eyes. Oh, buddy. So sweet. And your little pawpaws hanging down. You liked when the cat was feeding him? Oh, yeah, the lettuce. He hasn't done that again since then. Not for me, anyway. I don't know if he's done it for Matthew, if he's tried. Have ya? You haven't fed the kitties, or the piggies, the lettuce. He does like watching them, though. Don't ya? You love watching those piggies eat, huh? Oh, you went to a church exhibit. Yeah, I think we did too. Okay, I'm shutting that so the piggies can have their munchy privacy time. Sorry, baby. There we go. Wow, it's already been an hour and 30 minutes. Been a long live stream. But it's nice having people to chat with. Oh, we know, believe me. I know the fatigue is ridiculous. That should come in an audio version, Jungle Girl, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can look it up for you. Yeah, it's in an audiobook. Sure is. Look up the Hiding Place audiobook and you can get it. There's several of them on here from different places. Amazon has it. There's a person that does the Read Aloud to Me channel. Mrs. Reed reads. There's something where she reads the book to you. Hold on, let me see if I can get her channel here. I'll share with you. She's actually reading the book on her channel. Here you go. I think that might be a lady reading it on her channel. Yes, Amazon has it as well. Let me turn this off. Okay. Oh, I don't read newspaper. It's too depressing. Heart palpitations from COVID. I did not. Mine was all in my lungs. It hit my lungs with a fierce vengeance. That was literally all that it did to me. Was it made it hard to breathe. It made me cough, made me scared, made me feel very panicky all the time. Thought I was going to die. I just remember trying to stand up and feeling my whole head just feel like it was in a vice. Your whole body is just like overcome with this humongous sense of fatigue, like you've never felt in your life. Almost felt like I was drugged behind a horse or something on the ground. I don't know. Oh, reading's hard for you. I gotcha. Yeah, no problem. I think she reads that book on her channel. I've never seen her channel till I just looked it up. I haven't gone on there or anything, so. Oh, I know. I didn't test positive anymore either and had symptoms, so I get what you're saying. It just takes time for it to get out of your body, I guess. Or I think what happens is your body gets used to that being the normal state of where you're at. So it takes a while for your body to let go of those symptoms. But COVID itself could be already out of your system and moved out. I wonder where it goes. Like, did you poop it out, pee it out, sweat it out? Where does it go? How does it leave? Is what I always wondered. Does it just disintegrate? Is it absorbed into your bloodstream? I don't know. But then it's gone and you're still feeling fatigued and you're still feeling like death warmed over. And it's weird. It's a very weird disease for sure. Comprehensive. Yeah, I understand. I had really bad reading comprehension in school. Very bad. Amazingly, I passed through college. But yeah, it was really hard in school. Anyway, y'all, I think I'm going to get going. My throat's getting a little sore from talking too much. I'm going to go get me some cayenne tea to numb my throat out and make it feel better. But I so appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you for chatting, for sharing your heart, your frustrations, etc. I do hope I can catch up with Jeff and have a chat with him because I did not mean for him to think I was in any way, shape, or form making him feel bad or diminishing anything he was concerned about in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah. All right. You two have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Be blessed, everybody. Shalom.